the story, another one we've been working on. This has been a very busy news day, right? Some really unique, big stories that are out there.
I don't know anything here because I read the Facebook story, and I don't know anything.
There's not a lot of information, and Gina's going to explain that. Gina is the mom. Her daughter goes to, she's a middle school student at JFK in Utica. Her daughter was injured during an incident, and she is not convinced that these children are safe at JFK as a mom. And she's on the line right now. Gina, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. So give us in a nutshell, first of all, your daughter's okay?
She will be okay, I hope. I hope.
All right. So in a nutshell, tell us what happened.
So they were changing classes. They were walking through the hallways, and two boys behind her were pushing and roughhousing, and they fell into her, which pushed her forward, and one of them fell on top of her rolled ankle. So she was wheeled out in a wheelchair on Tuesday and brought to urgent care. The X-ray didn't show any fracture or a broken bone, but she's out of school today. She went to school yesterday, but she's out of school today. She's hurt. She's really hurt.
And you reported this, but you don't believe the school has handled it properly. Explain where.
I don't believe the school's handled it properly because this is not the first time this year I've called the school. This is actually the third time I've called the school. First, the school didn't get back to me until yesterday morning. This happened Tuesday morning at 9:30. I got a call yesterday morning. I still haven't heard from the superintendent. I did call his office, and he has not returned my call yet. And I think that 48 hours after an injury to a student is unacceptable. All the school was able to tell me yesterday was they can assure me that everything is being taken care of. Yeah. At this point of the game, I can't be assured. Because, like I said, this is not the first time I've called the school. This is a problem that's been escalating in that school this year. First, I want to say that this has nothing to do with Utica City Schools. I am a proponent of the Utica City School District. Mm-hmm. When I purchased my house, I purposely purchased it in this district. We have great teachers. We have a lot of great programs, especially at our high school. Mm-hmm. We have very, very hardworking teachers that are just inundated by this culture that we have. And
Gina, can I stop you for 1 second?
Sure.
I guess I still don't quite understand what happened. What you described was two boys behind your daughter horsing around.
They weren't targeting your daughter particularly, right? I mean,
they were not.
They were screwing around with each other. One falls over. I'm sorry, your daughter was injured. Accidentally falls into your daughter. She rolls her ankle. I guess
This is Jeff, by the way, who's asking the question.
Hi.
Good morning. Yeah, so I guess I don't understand the concern for safety, and this sounds like some young men horsing around.
She's saying it's going on too much.
It's not just young men horsing around. As I said, this was the third time that I called the school. First of all, one of the boys is constantly in an altercation in the hallway. He's not only in altercations in the hallway, but he's constantly in altercations throughout the day, throughout the school week, every single week.
How do you know that, Gina?
I know that because my daughter comes home and tells me what happens at school every day.
Okay, I would just caution you in that, and I'm sure your daughter is completely honest.
I get it.
I've been in with the principal and saying, I can't believe you guys are allowing this to go on, and then they show me the video. I'm like, oops. But I got to tell you, I have boys now. I have a daughter now, and it's a completely different world. But what you're describing for, and I think this is where Manaski's going a little bit. What you're describing for me is, how many times did I have to tell my boys to stop being so stupid? Yeah. Because somebody's going to get hurt, and now look what just happened. Right. It's like, I swear to God, I was talking to the wall. With my daughter, it is a different world. I tell her, she listens. I don't even have to tell her. She's usually telling me, why are you roughhousing in the house, Dad? And I'm not trying to make light of this, but I and there's two things that, and I'd like you to answer that because that was Jeff's question, and then the part about the schools. I don't think the school is going to tell you anything because I don't think they necessarily can.
No, they can't.
I think we're dealing with a privacy issue, so I don't think you're going to be able to get the superintendent to call you up and say, "Here's what we did to these kids."
Right.
You're right. You're right. They can't tell me
Yeah.
what they did to these kids specifically. But to answer Jeff's question, like I said, this is not the first time that I've been on the phone with the school this year. JFK has a snack bar. And first, let me say this is a new principal at JFK. Mr. Gifford, Josh Gifford, was the principal at JFK when my daughter first started going there and when my niece was going there and a lot of other friends that are older than my daughter. And he ran that school as a very tight ship. Those kids not only feared him, but they respected him. They liked him. He was in with those kids every single day in the hallway. At dismissal, you'd see him outside. He was a go-to. Great principal. He's now, thankfully, the principal at Proctor High School. So this new principal that we have, who I like very much, she's a very nice woman. I've told her this directly. She's a nice person. I'm sure she's the last person that wants to end up in a controversy, a tragedy at that school, but she does not have control over the school. And the reason why I say that is because JFK has a snack bar at lunchtime. And this year, you know, when we were in school, when we went to Proctor High School and we had Proc Shop, and we were able to go into, you know, Proc Shop and buy candy and it was a big deal, okay? So at the middle school, there's also a snack bar. So it's a big deal for the kids to be able to go into the snack bar and get their snacks and just, you know, sit and hang with their friends and decompress for a little while on their lunch half hour. For most of the year this year, the snack bar has been closed. And the reason the snack bar has been closed is because the principal does not want the kids getting out of their seat at lunchtime, because when they get out of their seat, there's a fight. There's always a fight. There's constantly a fight in the cafeteria. And that is absolutely a safety concern. There is no control over those kids. And when you have to punish kids with cookies and bags of chips, you can't have this. Do you think that those kids that are fighting on the floor like animals care about your cookie or your bag of chips? Absolutely not. That's a joke to them, okay? So JFK is also on, as we all know, we just made the news. We are on the news because we are on the state's list. Last month, I went into the school. We were invited.
Is it a performance? Is it a performance thing? The state
performance
saying?
is a huge thing. My daughter is a principal's list student who cannot attend school today because of the constant discipline problem in that school. I mean, there's a direct correlation there. You know, you have good kids in that school, and the principal will be the first one to say, out of 746 kids, we have 740 of them that are good. Well, one of them is out today. And this is just my incident. Because let's face it, guys, you know, there's a lot of people that would comment on my posts and that would get into the dirty laundry, but there's not a lot of people that will share the post and talk about a solution, talk about a resolution. And one of the things that I brought up with Mr. Felci yesterday, who is the Director of Curriculum and Instruction, I said to him, do you know what happened on social media when my daughter was out of school on Tuesday, the day of the incident? On social media, it was all over that one of the boys involved went around all day long and said, hey, so-and-so, did you hear I broke a girl's foot today? Hey, so-and-so, did you hear I broke a girl's foot today?
But don't you think as a parent you got to remove yourself from that and not pay attention to that stuff?
No, not in today's society. Absolutely not.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely not. You know what, Bill? My daughter is tough. She's tough. She is wise beyond her years. She has grown beyond her years. She's mentally strong, and she's physically tough. But when we have kids that are, and I'm not even going to comment on the other signs that this one student has shown throughout the course of the year, but they are very real signs. They are all of the signs that we are told every single day in the news when it's a headline news story. If you see it, if you hear it, talk about it, report it, go tell somebody, do this, do that. And here I am doing that, and it's falling on deaf ears.
Well, but you don't really know that it's falling on deaf ears. The problem is unless you can prove that there is a danger or a student has done something, but also you're not privy to know how the school is handling it, right? So
you're right.
I mean, they may be doing something.
They might be doing something.
They might be,
you don't.
Creating a record of action.
Could be. So, Gina, I guess I'll wrap this up because I am running out of time. So, what do you want the school to do? What are you looking for the school to do? Because clearly, you have a case in that your daughter was injured in school, so it's going to have to be something that the school covers the any medical bills. But what do you want the school to do?
Well, and I'm not looking for the school to cover any medical bills. I'm not the type of person that's going to scream lawsuit. That's not where I'm going.
I don't think you have to sue for that. I think it's just automatic that they'll take care of it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's getting paid for. I'm not concerned about that. What I want the school to do is, what I would love to see. What I would love to see is some kind of program put in place. These anti-bullying programs in the school, they don't work. I would love to see some kind of program put in place. I would love to see some kind of hallway monitor like we used to have in the halls, putting that on the teachers to come out of their classrooms in between classes a lot. They have enough. I would like to see those hallways monitored. I would like to see these kids that are in these altercations. If you put your hand on a student, that's in the code of conduct. There's supposed to be a zero tolerance.
Yeah.
Make an example of these kids. Make it loud and clear to the rest of the student body.
How old are they?
Make them know.
Gina, how old are they?
In charge.
How old are they, these kids?
14.
14?
Those are junior high, basically. Junior high school, middle school, junior high. So.
I don't know. I feel like maybe there's something that we're not being told about. Is there something you're holding back on this story? Because I don't know. I'm just thinking these are normal kids. And for the kid to run around and say, oh, I broke her foot, it sounds like a kid who maybe needs some attention. He's kind of bragging about this, but you even acknowledged when you told the story that it was accidental and he was actually playing around with another student, not really. Your daughter was kind of just happened to be there and got hurt. So I know that it's kind of weird that he's running around saying that, but I don't know. I guess I don't know where this is going. I feel like there's something else missing here that you're not sharing.
Well, I guess the best I can say, Jeff, I'm talking to Jeff right now.
Yeah. Yep.
The best I can say, the best answer I can give you is, am I holding back? Yes, I'm holding back. I'm holding back because I'm smart enough to understand that I can't throw out accusations, and I'm certainly not going to do that on your radio show. I understand the repercussions of all of that. But the best I can do is, and I'm a mom, so I'm going to protect this kid as well. But you're right, he needs attention. I don't think that he's the only person in that school that needs attention. So, no, I'm not going to tell you
Okay, fair
everything.
enough.
Unfortunately, I wish
no,
I
understand.
Could.
I totally understand, and I respect
but
that.
What I can say is that the school is out of control. We need to get control over that school. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we need to do it. If we don't do it, it's going to continue to escalate. It has escalated from September. We are now in March, and I guess my hands are tied at this point, and I did the best I could. Keep
us posted as to what happens. We will reach out to Bruce Karam and try to speak with Bruce on the safety in the school issue. I mean, he's not going to be able to tell us anything specific, but we'll do the best that we can here at this end. Gina, I appreciate you sharing your story, and let's see, certainly the best to your daughter, and let's see where this goes.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks so much. We'll break. WIBX, Utica, Rome.